Hi, I'm Katelyn Bullock.
And I'm Adam Kolozetti.
We're the hosts of Enta Asks, where we ask business leaders what makes your company perpetually epic.
So hit the subscribe button below. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook so you never miss an episode. Hi, I'm Adam Kolozetti.
And I'm Katelyn Bullock. Today, we're really fortunate to have some amazing guests. We have Bruno, Lindia, and Miranda Sallis here. And Bruno is the creator of Dream, Reach, Achieve. And he's going to talk about what makes his company so perpetually epic.
This idea of game day, we talked about the on the field, on the bench. Game day in sports, right? You're focused, your adrenaline's high. If you screw up, you're going to hear about it from me, right? And vice versa. It's like very honest, passionate conversation and feedback.
Yeah.
But in business,
we dance around it.
You dance around it, right? It's game day. We're here. We're making live or die decisions, and we're not truly saying what we think. And I think that was the power. For me, that was the most epic thing about what you guys brought is like, hey, it's game day.
Yeah.
Nothing on the table.
Well, and I think the difference is in business really is, do you all have the same goal? That's why ultimately, there's that sense of inner security of if I call you out on your whatever, I might actually be wrong. Maybe I don't quite get it and you're the one who really gets it. And that's where this whole, what do you want to achieve comes into play. The more clarity you can have around purpose in a business, any business, those are the big ones that have success, are the ones that right from the CEO down to the maintenance workers know what they're there for, right? Mm-hmm. And it's easy when it's we need to win on Sunday.
Yeah,
and and you didn't do your job because I read the playbook. Well, how many organizations have that kind of cut and dried playbook? This is how you go about your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliantly put, because that's number one. And I think the number two thing, because everybody asks, why do you work with Miranda? Why does Miranda work with me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Why do you guys work together? I believe that, we could want, and it goes back to a sports kind of theme, is that you do have the end of the game, end of the season, start of the season, end of the season kind of thing, right? And Miranda's got different goals than I do, right? And I have different goals than Miranda. But as long as we're aware of what kind of our goals are, then call it the micro goal of running a business, because now becomes, I get how long I get to work with Miranda. And if you don't really appreciate and enjoy the journey for, who she is, who I am, and who you are during that game day, you're not going to have it next week. You might not even make the team, right?
Right.
So think about what's going on right now. People are kind of scrambling for funding, which is a huge problem. And the problem was, in their dream phase, when they were planning out the company, they really maybe listened to some people, and we talk about this all the time about funding, is that they probably believe that 1% down is a really good way to go. No, you got to listen to the person that says cash is king. If you don't have the cash, you're not going to grow forward, right? So in your dream planning, right, if you don't take that into consideration, man, something like this hits, you're dead. And you're done. And so it's a real appreciation of the other person's goals, because there's no way you'll have the same goals. In life.
In life. Yeah.
In life. And risk tolerances too, what you're willing to put on the table and what you're willing to sacrifice or not, right?
Yeah.
And that having alignment in that is huge, and you guys really get to the bottom of those things. And I think, and we talked a lot about the pre-transformational course, but there's other courses that you have in there. And you mentioned the word funding, which reminded me, we had a chat about that. There's actually funding in order to support people, growing businesses that are hiring new employees, that actually cover trainings. And a lot of people don't know about that. No.
I've known about it for a while, but it's the federal government training, and it has nothing to do with
your company.
Yeah, what Trudeau's introduced two things, Serb and Herb. Sorry, I'm glad I threw that out. That was it for all my buddies back home. They love that. No, but seriously, there's a federal grant, and here in Alberta, there's the Alberta Job Grant, Training Grant, and in BC, they just changed the name, and I know there's one in Ontario, but it's a federal grant that helps your company grow, and that's what the money's set aside for, because the government's not stupid, right?
Mhm.
The more people are working, the more taxes they collect,
Mhm.
right? The more CPP, so they can pay for mine because I'm older than you guys. Like, you guys got to work hard, you know what I'm saying, to get me retired.
Yeah.
So,
Living the
but,
dream.
yeah, that's what it is, right? So, Freedom 95. You guys, you remember Freedom 55? That
Yeah.
used to be a thing.
I do.
Yeah, Freedom 55 does
it
not
doesn't
exist.
exist.
now, you know.
But like to that point is that, you know, for companies who are like, hi, I'd love to get you guys on board, but you know, do I have it in the budget? They need to be aware of these avenues, because
Mhm.
you can't afford not to get help. You
Fair,
can't,
yeah.
like it.
You got to spend money to make money, Katelyn.
It's so
Yeah.
true, right?
Yeah,
But it
totally.
is.
I think, like, how bad do you want it? That always comes down to.
Which
I love
is
it.
the whole vetting process
You know.
of it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And you got to be at a certain place with a certain drive and a certain vision to have the appetite to peel layers off and to be vulnerable and want to come out the other side in a different mindset.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get all the latest updates.
Hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Yeah, and I mean, Bruno, it was in your book, I think, Alone at the Top, right? It said something like, if you're not willing to do it and go that extra mile, then someone else sure as hell is, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, I remember, like, just like Miranda said, is if it's not for everybody, and it, you know, if you don't, it's not about if you don't have the budget. If you're not going to find the budget, then really, it's kind of like, you know what? It's like when you have kids, and they really, really, really like an activity, and they're actually really, really good at it, and they're passionate about. Forget about being good. They're passionate about it. You're going to find everything. You know, you're going to do anything you can to keep them in that activity. To a certain point, you know, we talk about silly stories. I'm good for a good stupid story, but what really inspired me are my parents, right? And so my parents used to say, you know what? I never want you to steal. I never want you to, you know, hurt somebody. I never want you to, you know, physically with a gun shoot somebody or something, unless you're trying to feed your family, right? And so these days you're kind of like, well, boy, I would never do that. But put yourself in that situation, you know, post-war. Like, I mean, people were stealing from other people. My point is that when I started, my first journey point was, we were just talking about this, is that, you know, with my my coach Ray, I was over at the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, and I met him, and he was kind of an interesting guy. Ray, I know you're watching, and I always call you interesting. That's code for interesting, right? But the thing is that all due respect, like, he put me on this journey, and I was just starting a company, and if ever you guys want to find out really all the details on how crappy I was feeling those days and how we didn't have a shitload of money to spend, and I just said, I found the value. I really believed in Ray in the process, and you find the money, and the rest is history. We wouldn't be here had I not believed in my company as much as I did.
Right.
And there are a lot of companies that have come and gone and kind of called me like, you're just wasting your time. And I'm like, well, let me waste my time. It's, hey, you know what? It's my guitar. Let me play a song.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So we talked a lot about, you know, what makes your offering and how epic it is and the types of businesses and people that are ready for it. But you could also potentially become a coach for your guys' program, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of people or what kind of skills would you look for in that?
Yeah. You got to really, really, really want it.
Yep.
Yeah. This isn't like, I don't know. That's probably the only thing it's probably one of the reasons why we work together, is that if you don't really, really want it,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like a puppy dog, which Miranda's got a really nice dog.
Too.
The thing is that, you know, you can tell, like, I call it the puppy effect. Like, the puppy will come as, you know, and they'll know who's going to be nice to them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, right? And clients are the same way. If they feel that you're just in it for the 37-week program at $44,000 divided by this, they're just going to, you know, some of them do. Like the corporate clients, they have no problems back in the day. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Just strike, it's a thing to do. You're not on our training supplier list, it's fine. But I'm talking about people that really, really, really want to make a difference and want to learn how to deliver our program, because to be honest with you, we are busy. I mean, in terms of, we probably turn away, Miranda doesn't even know this, but I turn away a lot of requests. What's that?
What?
Yeah, what are you doing? Well, because I mean, you want to. I mean, at the same time, you want to. And I'm not trying to like, whoa, you know, like you were that big. No, you've got to be careful. I mean, you don't want to spend 3 days of your life and kind of waste your time and get a paycheck. There's a lot with easier ways, you know. I'm
Yeah.
from downtown Ottawa. You can steal the car anytime. And sell it, but,
It's the same with selecting clients. Selecting people that are going to represent a brand is a more than just like, have you checked these boxes? Like,
Right.
can you deliver this? Well, anybody can click a PowerPoint and go through it, but I think what Bruno's trying to get at is that passion of delivery, and that leadership is not something that you can appoint. Right? That's not something that you can just hand off and be like, well, you read the manual, you know what to do, follow the steps. There's something innate about leadership and taking people on a journey that doesn't happen because you really are keen to do it. It's a learned behavior for some, but also there's that age-old, like, just because you have a certain level of experience or a certain resume doesn't make you a leader.
Right.
So
yeah, doesn't make you good at doing that. We have a lot more great stuff for you, so stay tuned for the next episode to see what we learn.